When you start playing Legends of Runeterra, you have some cards available out of an ever-expanding pool. New players usually recur to budget decks, a cheap and quick way to get some decks that help them climb the ranked ladder or win games while they build their collection of cards. Today, we're going to go over some tips to keep in mind when building a budget deck and get you started on your LOR journey. Let's start with the basics, getting new cards. We've already made a video on how to grow your collection as a new or returning player. There you can find more ways than the ones being mentioned in this video. The TLDR of card collection is the fact that you really don't have to pay to get more cards, and you don't have to exchange your in-game currency for randomized packs. You are in control of which cards you want to get and when to get them, excluding the weekly vault and region roads. These prove to be extremely helpful when creating a budget deck, as you don't have to waste your shards or wildcards on unnecessary cards. The first thing you should do when building a budget deck is figuring out what type of deck and playstyle you want to pursue. This is extremely important. The same cards can be used in different ways depending on which deck you're using them in. The possibilities are endless, but there's no need to get caught up in that. Don't worry about the cards until you have selected your deck type. For more information on deck types, I recommend checking our guide for beginners on the subject. Once you've figured out the type of deck that you want, look for cards that synergize with each other. Check which champions work better with that strategy, if you want a champion or you already have one. The key thing to keep in mind when looking at synergies is that you don't need to have every single card on your deck. Instead, look for cards whose stats and effects will help you out the most when building the deck, and leave behind anything that isn't essential for your deck to work. When talking about budget decks, one of the key elements to keep in mind is the cost of the cards, and the ones that you already have. Like we said before, when you start the game, you get some cards. Try to make the most out of them by implementing them into your budget decks. This will help you out, reduce the cost for the decks even more. Your decks shouldn't have more than one single champion or one or two epic cards at most. If you own more than one of these cards, then by all means add them to your deck. But if you don't, save your resources for common and rare cards that are necessary to make the deck functional. Keep in mind that you can build a budget deck version of most meta decks in the game, if you're able to identify the core synergies between their cards. For example, a 2-champion deck can be reduced to a single champion by replacing it with other cards that help boost the remaining champion. At the end of the day, budget decks are a tool to enable you to get more cards as you play, while also winning. You can continue to improve your deck and strategy by adding new cards as you unlock them, or completely move away from the deck once you have enough cards to use a meta deck. Overall, this guide is not telling you which cards to use or which champions to add. The meta is changing constantly, and a budget deck from now will not be as useful in the future. So I just wanted to share with you the key elements that I think make or break a budget deck, and what to keep in mind when building your collection. I hope this guide has been useful. Don't forget to subscribe and like for more Legends of Runeterra content. Good luck with your games, and I'll see you very soon.